Some of y'all about to be real mad at me, but it must be said.
Good morning. Here is to 2 weeks left of your elementary school years. That's major, people. So this week is going to be a little bit different. All of us teachers have to go into school by ourselves and clean up our classrooms. That means get all of your stuff together, ready for you to take home, clean everything, put all the tables against the walls, lots of stuff that we have to do. So, there's not going to be any Zoom sessions this week and probably little to no conferences. So you will probably not be getting a call from me this week unless it's something major. All right? So, look for a YouTube video from me every day this week. Instead of Zoom, I'm posting a video. All assignments are on Canvas as always, and you can still reach out to me, but I can't guarantee that my response back to you will be as quick because, again, we are going to be busy at school. So, message me, but it just might take a little bit longer for me to get back to you. Okay? Okay. So, recap. Every day this week, look for a YouTube video. Don't expect a conference from me. If you need help, text me, call me. I might not be able to answer, but I will answer that day. Get it? Got it? Good. We gotta do what we gotta do, people.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
On to the math lesson. If no Zoom sessions and barely any phone conferences this week wasn't good enough news for you, I got even better news. What we're doing in math this week is multiplying fractions. That was literally the easiest thing we did all year in math. So easy. So if you don't know how to do this, I feel bad for you, son. But we are going to review using a couple problems. Okay, so the first one says 7 times 5/10. Now, when you're multiplying fractions, even if it's times a whole number, all you do is you multiply the numerator times the denominator. That means you multiply the top numbers and then the bottom numbers. That's all you do. So, problem here is that 7 doesn't have a denominator. What do? All you do is you put that 7 over 1. Because 7 ones is equal to 7 wholes. 7 divided by 1 is 7 wholes. Whenever you want to make a whole number into a fraction, you just put it over 1. It will be equal to that whole number. So now we can multiply the numerators and the denominators. 7 times 5, 35. 1 times 10, 10, 35 tenths. If I want to change this into a mixed number, remember we divide 35 divided by 10. Okay, I know that is 3 wholes. I'm going to have a remainder of 5 and my denominator stays the same. 3 and 5 tenths. If you want to go even further because you are good with math, you should also know that 3 and 5 tenths is the same as 3 and 1/2. But if you can get to this point, then you're good to go. Next problem says 2/12 of 9. So what that means is that you need to multiply. When we're talking about fractions and you see the word of, that means you need to multiply. Of is a key word for multiplying fractions. And I don't think I did a good enough job of teaching you that when we learned this at first. But when you see that key word of, That means you multiply. You are now going to tell me this answer in the comments. 2/12 times 9. Give me the answer in the comments. Okay, next problem is a word problem. It says, Marvin uses 2/3 of the sugar in his sugar container for his recipe. I see that word of, multiplication. He had 5 cups of sugar in his sugar container. How much sugar did Marvin use in his recipe? So, it says he has 5 cups of sugar in his sugar container, and he uses 2/3 of that sugar for his recipe. So that's the same as saying 5 times 2/3, or 2/3 of 5. Okay, so first question, what equation can you write to represent the problem? All right, well, I kind of just said that. It would be 2/3 times 5, or 5 times 2/3. Remember, in multiplication, the order does not matter. But this makes the most sense because this says 2/3 of 5. And that's what we're doing. We're taking 2/3 of 5. The next part, which I know we all hate, says solve the problem using a visual model. Okay, so I'm going to draw what it's saying. It says 2/3 of 5. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw that 5. I'm going to draw the 5 cups of sugar. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to pretend these are all the exact same size, okay? And now it says he uses 2/3. So I'm going to cut each of these pieces in 2/3. And if you remember, we did this exact same thing when we divided fractions. Okay, it says 2/3. So I'm going to, in each of these holes, I'm going to shade in 2/3, or 2 out of the 3 parts that I created. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And now to get my answer, I'm going to count how many I have shaded in. But remember, each of these pieces is a third. So I'm counting by thirds. I have 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3, 5/3, 6/3, 7/3, 8/3, 9/3, 10/3 is my answer. And I can double check that I did that model correctly by just multiplying. 2 times 5, 10, 3 times 1, 3. Ding, ding, ding. And if I want to change that into a mixed number, that would be 3 and 1/3, because 10 divided by 3 is 3. I'll have a remainder of 1, and my denominator stays the same. And the only reason I'm not showing you the division part is because these are facts that you should already know in your head. You should know 3 times 3 is 9, and then immediately know, okay, I'm going to have 1 left over. This is stuff that by now you should know in your head, because to solve that, you just need to know your multiplication facts. So work on that if you don't know it. Now, your exit tip for today. Yes, you have to draw a model for one of them. So the first one says 1/4 times 6. For that one, you need to draw a model and give me the answer. So that is saying 1/4 of 6. So you draw 6 holes, you split them into fourths, shade in one of each part, or shade in one of each hole, and tell me what you get. The second part is a word problem. You're going to solve that, and you're just going to tell me the answer. For this exit slip, I believe it's a picture upload. Okay? If there is a space for you to type and you're going to send me your work and not upload it on Canvas, can you please just type there, I sent you a text, of my work so that I know when I'm grading it on Canvas to look through my texts, that would help a lot. If not, if there's no text box, whenever you send me the text, I will try to immediately put it on Canvas. Now on to science. Okay, so science, it might seem confusing to you, but it's so easy that that's why it's confusing, if that makes sense. So it's all about air and the effects of air and how we can harness the air and use it for different things. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to answer these 3 questions on Canvas. What is air? What do you know about air? What can we do with air? What is air? Think about it. It's a gas, right? What do you know about air? And what can we do with air? Meaning, how can we use air? Then you're going to find random objects around your house, your apartment, your room. And you are going to drop them. Obviously, do not use anything that will break when you drop it. Okay? Let's be smart, kids. 2 examples are right here. You can use those 2 objects, a piece of flat paper and a piece of crumbled paper. You're just going to drop them from the same height. You drop them from the same height because that's our control. Okay, we want to keep that the same. And you are just going to write down your observations. What did you see when the paper or whatever object dropped? Use your senses, but don't use all of them because you should not be licking things. Nobody needs to get corona, all right? That's all you have to do there. Not rocket science. And then you have 3 questions for your exit slip on that same Canvas assignment that all ask about air and how air affects movement in a positive and a negative way. Connect that to reading. And guess what? That's all, folks. Enjoy your day. If you need help, you can call or text me. Remember, I might be a little bit later in responding to you. All lessons will be a YouTube video this week. No Zoom lessons. Phone conferences will be few and far between. I love you guys. 2 more weeks left. That is crazy. I wish I could see your faces, touch your faces, hug you. I hope that didn't sound creepy with the touch your faces comment. But you know what I mean. I want to see you guys. One day, people. One day. Peace out.